Hello, everybody. We'll just wait for all of you to come in. I see our attendees trickling in at the moment, so just a few seconds so you are comfortable and you are with us fully. So still some attendees coming in. So if you are joining us and you're not sure, this is the side event or parallel event on addressing the challenges of women in rural areas, leveraging transformation for sustainability as part of CSW67. So we are very excited to have you here. I still see some people coming in. And my co-moderator, Claudia, is sending you a message. Please read it. It says that, we want this webinar to be interactive, even if we are, of course, completely virtual. So please introduce yourself in the chat. Let us know where you're. And yes, please mute yourself if you don't have the floor as well. Thank you so much. All right, 23 people in the room, 10 seconds more, and then we start, okay? Thank you so much. Yes, and as what Claudia said, let us know your thoughts as well. That's awesome. Thank you so much. All right. Okay, I think we can start now. So good morning from New York. I think we are having different time zones. So good afternoon, good evening, good day in general. So thank you so much for joining us. My name is Jenny Elmaco. I am one of the members of the UN Standing Committee of the International Federation of Business and Professional Women, who is hosting the webinar today, together with our partner, Pan-Pacific and Southeast Asia Women's Association. So thank you so much for co-hosting this important webinar with us. So the discussion today will zero in on how women like us can actively co-innovate and utilize agricultural techniques and technologies that improve agricultural productivity, increase economic autonomy, and occupy leadership roles in rural life. So you will be hearing in the next hour or so experiences, best practices, testimonials from Benin to Romania, from France to Nepal to Turkey on rural women and their access to loans, land, and technology. As we said earlier on, we want this to be an interactive webinar. So some housekeeping. Please keep yourself on mute unless and until you have the floor. And after you are given the floor, please mute yourself again. So please also use the Q&A box if you have a question, or you can also use the chat box as well. Introduce yourself, start networking. This is the reason for UNCSW67. So all of us working in different parts of the world for women's empowerment and gender equality can get to know each other. So I will not, I see there's a hand raised. I will not accommodate you now if you don't mind, but please get in touch with our co-moderator if we can help you in any way. All right, so digital transformation and emerging technology solutions can help a gender-just sustainability journey, and we will continue to create more gender-responsive, intelligent, and inclusive communities, and we start with this discussion. So to welcome us formally to this event, I am very pleased and honored to introduce to you the president of the International Federation for Business and Professional Women, a powerhouse, incredible woman. She has done so much for women and continues to do so across generations. Please, you have the floor, Dr. Catherine Bosshart.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jenny. It's a real pleasure to be with you today. I hope we have less technical difficulties as we had at the hybrid event last week in New York. Now I greet you from Switzerland. I'm back already because I had other obligations here. I realized I have attended several conferences also in Africa, how important financial literacy and also let's say literacy in digital systems are for rural women. It brings them more security when they are selling their products on the market, when they can sell their things via telephone and not with cash. When they cross borders, it's the same situation. Nobody can take the money away. We had several interesting scenes that were played to us from Tanzania and from Zimbabwe in Africa. And the situation is really difficult for these women because it brings them into danger. So that is just one part we need to work on for rural women. And apart from infrastructure, general setups in the different countries, because we know all that internet connectivity is quite often scarce in rural areas. So I wish you a lot of fun and a lot of interesting contexts in this parallel event. And I thank you very much for attending. And I thank also our partners very much to attend with us and to support our parallel event. Thank you very much. Have a good session.
Thank you so much, Dr. Catherine. We miss you here in New York, but as with very active women, you are needed everywhere. So we will let you go and wish you all the best in your next event. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. So since, of course, we are talking about digitalization, digital transformation, we want to engage you in something, maybe something new for the rest of you. But please don't get scared. We are asking you to do a Mentimeter. So this is to get your thoughts about the topic that we have today. I'm going to open my screen to show you what I mean. So this is the Mentimeter. This is used to get your ideas and also to cloud source, many of your opinions about the topic. So what I want you to do, for those of you inside the room, get your mobile phones or your handy phones, and then you go to www.menti.com. You see the instructions on top, and then use the code. It's going to ask you for a code. So please input 17054183. And once you're inside, you can engage with us. Tell us the first answers to the first question. Where are you from? And what to you makes a woman powerful? So let us know where you're coming from. I'm sure we have participants from different parts of the world, and that's super exciting. That's what technology does. So we want to profit from this. We want to use this to the maximum, and really, okay, here you go. We have answers now. Let me see if I can. England, and it says knowledge. Can you see my
repeat the code?
Okay, I'm having a little. Can you see my screen? Perfect. Okay. We have Germany, we have England, we have Switzerland. And what makes a woman powerful? Knowledge, her knowledge, of course. Her authenticity, her purchase power. Yes, absolutely. We are the most powerful consumer group, even more than India and China combined. So we have that much power. We have participants from Malaysia, of course, the United States. We have from England. So passion, what makes a woman powerful is passion. Absolutely. That's a great answer. I love that answer. Yes, passion makes us do incredible things, makes us become super women. So that's really good. Some other answers? What about the rest? So I know this is a little bit new, but since this is our topic for CSW and CSW67, digitalization, digital transformation. So we are using this platform to get you engaged. So again, if it's your first time, just go to www.menti.com, use your handy phones, input the code 17054183 and answer the question. Okay, some other answers here. Education, commitment, yes, that makes a woman powerful. Somebody from Romania, of course. I think I know who that is. Courage. I love this word. Courage, sorority. What makes a woman powerful is her voice. Education, absolutely. And we have somebody from Denver. Thank you so much. Of course, Brazil and many others. So thank you so much. Please keep on answering while I go to the next question. Let's try to do that. Okay. And as with everything, something always happens. Yeah. Okay, next question. What is the role of women in sustainability and in the creation of the climate smart environment? So this is, of course, not a test. You're not graded, but we really want to get to know, your ideas on this. What do you think is the role of women in sustainability and in the creation of a climate smart environment? So just to answer that question, I think people are really thinking very hard, huh? I hope I'm not stumping you from this. Anyone? Expertise? Yes. Creating sustainable jobs? Absolutely. As a politician? Yes. And I really hope there will be more women taking politics. Don't shy away from politics, because we really need leaders as well. So that's very good. Advocacy? Yes. Action? Be involved in decisions? Absolutely. Also, as a consumer, to provide leadership, to be involved in decisions, speak up. Yes, absolutely. To mitigation, recycle, to create change, awareness. Wonderful, wonderful answers here. Thank you so much. This is very important. And we're going to use this, to report as well to the UN, what your thoughts are. You're not just, mere participants, but really fully engage, advocates. And this is important to get our message across and what's happening here in the parallel events. We are the other important part. We are not government, but our voices are very, very important. So please continue to speak up using this platform. So thank you so much. What else? Important insights, yes. Women are naturally big. Yes, women are naturally big in movements, I would like to say, right? On connection with nature, absolutely. We have this incredible connection with nature. Okay, let's go to the next question. Okay. This is important as we talk about rural women today. What do you think are the challenges of rural women at this time? Please let us know, especially in the different parts of the world. What do you think are the challenges of rural women? And today we are going to also listen to experts about their experiences and the work that they do in order to alleviate the challenges that women face. Being understood, wow, that's really heavy. Yeah, but it's absolutely true. Sometimes as women, especially women working in rural areas, we are struggling to be understood. Technology, yes, absolutely. Connections, yes. Especially during the pandemic, we lost this human connection somehow. We're trying to regain that, but it's still a problem. Yeah. What about here? Training about digital land rights, very important topic. The glass ceiling, water, food insecurity, climate change, absolutely. Lack of funding, digitization, yes. Facility with English, that's a very good point. Yes, that's something that we have to work on as well. Literacy, knowledge, access, yes, access to the internet and access in general. We really need that. The lack of capital, the lack of funding, very important to note. So thank you so much for these answers. Please keep them coming, because this is something that we also want to feedback to the UN and also to the policymakers as we bridge this gap between rural women and digitalization and decision making for the world, and making sure that poverty, I see poverty here, absolutely, and access to information, yes, and glass ceiling for leaders, great answers, really. Thank you so much. Now we go to the last question. And I want you to do a scale. So on a scale of 1 to 10, please assess the awareness of gender-responsive sustainability and digital transformation initiatives in your country. So if there is no awareness, please use 1. If it's fully aware, then the maximum is 10. So if you think that your country is aware of gender-responsive approaches and really includes women in decision-making, then please, it's very important for us to know, okay? 2.5, that's not even half, that's not very promising. So I'm a little bit scared about that. I hope it increases with many answers coming in. That means that we have our work cut out for us. 2.8, and it's not going up. 2.9. Wow, okay. So that says a lot. It seems to be stuck at 2.9. So that means there's not a lot of awareness of our countries on sustainability and digital transformation initiatives that involve women. So here is one solution. Thank you so much for participating in that. One of the solutions, of course, is for us to listen to each other, listen to best practices, listen to experiences. So now I have the honor to introduce to you our incredible panel of speakers. We start with an incredible woman from France. She has been at the forefront of a lot of discussions and debates about education, about transformative education, most especially using digital technology. And she has been sitting as our representative in UNESCO, and to talk to us about empowerment of all girls and women in and through inclusive education in STEM, ICT, and TVET, opportunities and challenges in the digital revolution. Please help me welcome to give her presentation, Dr. Marie-Claude Machon-Honoré. And I hope we don't have a problem with her connection. Is she here? Dr. Marie-Claude, are you here?
No.
No, okay.
No.
No worries. This happens in every virtual conversation. So we just have to adapt. So may I ask, please, Dr. Meena. Dr. Meena is a very active member. She has been with the banking sector for a long, long time. And right, it's only fitting that Dr. Meena will talk to us about microfinance and women empowerment, and talking about how to reduce poverty in Nepal. So Dr. Meena, please, the floor is yours. I will share your presentation right now. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Dr. Jenny, and good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Meena Karna from Nepal, from BPW International, and I'm going to talk about the microfinance, which give the women a powerful instrument to recover from the poverty. My topic is microfinance and women empowerment, their space and opportunity to reduce poverty in Nepal. Microfinance is emerging as a powerful instrument for poverty alleviation in the new economy. Microfinance refers to a collection of banking practices built around providing small loans, typically without collateral, and accepting tiny deposits. This program aimed at providing a cost-effective mechanism for providing financial services to the unreached poor. The cost of empowerment lies in the ability of a woman to control her own destiny. This implies that to be empowered, women must to have equal opportunities, capabilities such as education and health, and equal access to resources and opportunities such as land and employment. They must also have the agency to use those rights, capabilities, resources, and opportunities to make strategic choices and decisions. Strategic choices and decisions. These things are provided through leadership opportunities and participation in political institutions. To exercise agency, women must have without fear of coercion and violence. A woman cannot be empowered in a society where she does not feel safe. Women have challenges to face dual roles inside and outside their homes. Gender equality should be implied to reduce the women's workload. Microfinance is a key tool of public policy against poverty. Microfinance help to be economically empowered by providing small loans. By the small loans, the women can earn and become self-dependent, which make them economically empowered. Next slide, please. This way, microfinance loan help the woman to be confident and self-dependent and get the access over all the family matters, and also they can take decisions regarding their children's education and their betterment for the future. By the small loans from microfinance, provide the woman opportunity to be educated. It gives the possibility of future investments from their savings, which they have earned from the microloans. It creates the real jobs for the society. Microfinance loans can benefit borrowers who may not have the necessary assets to serve as a guarantee to get the loans. This may microloans get the poor women to uplift their lifestyle through socio-economic activities. Our organization focuses on women as they are marginalized for a long time. This organization targets women as borrowers because they are honest and very good and liable to repay the loan installments on time. They can efficiently manage their earned money to manage their expenditure. Next slide, please. Professor Muhammad Yunus, you can see here, Professor Muhammad Yunus, who is the father of the microcredit, has popularized microfinance concept in Bangladesh through his Grameen Bank. And in Nepal, Dr. Harihar Depant has introduced the microfinance concept, which is very successful in Nepal. The women who didn't know anything till yesterday and illiterate, now they are became successful women, successful business women through their microloans. Some recommendation, next slide please. Some recommendation to make microfinance a powerful instrument. One of the most crucial roles to be avoid being indebted, microfinance service providers must take reasonable measures to guarantee that loans only put borrowers at a small risk of over-indebtedness, and that credit is only extended if borrowers have shown adequate ability to repay. Another crucial idea is transparent pricing, such as interest rates, insurance premiums must be open and disclosed in a such way that clients can understand clearly. These things will make microfinance successful in rural and developing part of the whole world. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Meena, for that incredible presentation. And it's great to learn about Nepal, and it's incredible what you're doing when it comes to microfinance. I just wanted to ask you a very short question. You know, for those who are not so familiar with starting with microfinance, and especially with you who's been in the banking sector for quite some time, how do they start? Where do they go? Who do they talk to if they want to avail of microfinancing?
Thank you so much, Dr. Jenny. It's a very good question, and I'm so happy to give the answer of this question. Microfinance is a group guarantee loan. You must have to make the group, and then only you can go to the microfinance institutions to get the loan. This is the this loan is only gives in the not collateral, but the group guarantee. Every group is the guarantor for each other. If 5 people's group, then 4 people can pay the installment of that month and 1 cannot, then the rest of the 4 peoples collect the money and pay on behalf of that lady who cannot have the money to repay. And so this way, they can get the sufficient time to earn and then to repay. The installment is in a monthly basis and up to 12 months. And then only they can get the another installment. Like first year they can get 10,000, then second year 15,000, then 20, then 25, and then 30. And this way 50, then 1 lakh, and then after we link to the bank and they can get sufficient money on behalf of their business. How the business is running, how they can repay, everything is analyzed there, and they can give the money. So any microfinance institution, they can go and contact, and they can collect the people and make the group, and they can get the loan. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Dr. Meena. Please stay. We hope that we can have some time with you again to ask questions, but thank you for your presentation. I'll let you go and in the background for a minute, and I'll introduce our next speaker, supposedly our first speaker. I hope she's back here. Yes, she is. So
Sure.
please give your presentation, Dr. Marie-Claude Machon-Honoré. As I said, a very active member of BPW and really our voice with UNESCO, and of course the voice of a lot of women and girls everywhere when it comes to education. The room is yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm trying to share my PowerPoint. Is it working?
Yes, we see it.
Okay, thank you. And maybe I should enlarge it, right?
Yes, please do so.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
So thank you, and sorry, you know, I live next to Paris in the suburb, and so even in France, next to Paris, you know, there is problem of disconnection. I'm really sorry, but this is the proof in the eating of the pudding, right? So I'm very happy to be here. Good morning or afternoon or evening to everyone. So I'm going to talk about the empowerment of all girls and women in and through education in the context of the digital revolution. I will be speaking from my experience and knowledge at UNESCO as a past chair of the ICNGO and also member of the liaison committee and also member of the CCNGO Education 2030. So first thing is important is to mind the gender gap. Before COVID-19, we were already quite a long way from achieving gender equality and SDG 4. And there are persistent inequalities between geographic areas, like, for example, sub-Saharan Africa, where still the most marginalized are the girls, according to the UNESCO Institute of Statistics. CSW62 recognized that girls and women living in rural areas often face violence, higher rates of poverty, but also limited access to health, information, and communication technology. In his publication entitled Cracking the Code, UNESCO in 2019 also said that adolescent girls from rural or disadvantaged areas are at a higher risk of educational exclusion. And we should think also of the 3 million Afghan girls who are now denied the right to secondary education and of course also higher education. So there's a lack of specialized STEM teachers, particularly in remote and rural communities. And for example, women and girls are 25% less likely than men and boys to know how to leverage digital technology for basic purposes. Girls and women tend to have lower levels of digital skills, and it is confirmed also by the rewired Global Declaration on Connectivity for Education at the last Transformation Education Summit. So these are also figures at the bottom of the slide here. And the latest figures come from Our Education, Our Future, fact sheets that came out on the last day, International Day of Women's Rights. Globally, women represent 31% of researchers and in development positions. And even in Southwest Asia, it's worse. And they are globally underrepresented at all levels in the technology sector, more particularly in leadership positions. So there's a risk of perpetuating gender inequalities in the fourth revolution. So how does UNESCO work? How can we work with UNESCO to accelerate gender equality? So UNESCO is a laboratory of ideas, and it sets standards and like recommendations on science and scientific researchers, which is aligned also on the recommendation on ethics in artificial intelligence to ensure gender transversal perspective and responsive financing policies. And they were adopted or consolidated for the one on science and scientific researchers at the last General Conference of UNESCO. So UNESCO works in global partnerships, global education coalition, and its strategy for gender equality in and through education is called From Access to Empowerment. And this is to increase mobilization and leverage political and financial commitments with partners like France, for example, because I'm from France, but other ones too. And these are campaigns, education, better life, better future, our education, our future, which accelerates gender equality. I want also to quote the World Water Assessment Program. We work with them because we are also member of Women for Water Partnership, and they have initiated a call for action to accelerate gender equality and women's leadership in the water domain, focusing on gender sensitive data in a multi-stakeholder approach. Also at the end, you know, thanks to the Transformation Education Summit, we hope for a gender transformative future with women and girls at the center, as well as youth. And of course, there are opportunities, but also challenges in the digital learning and area. So 3 keys are important to be unlocked: connectivity, capacities, and content, and this must be considered as global public and common goods. Education is also a human right and public good, and this is to be recalled in the digital area, of course. And I would like to also mention 2 platforms, the global initiatives which have been initiated during the Transformation Education Summit, which is Gateways to Public Digital Learning for evidence and knowledge management and norm standard setting, and also the Global Platform for Gender Equity and Girls and Women's Empowerment in and through education to advance gender equality, break the glass ceiling, challenge harmful gender norms, attitudes, unequal power relations, and gender discrimination. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that powerful presentation, Dr. Marie-Claude. And indeed, you are doing so many things, addressing a lot of things, but I think the key component there is really education. So for you, is with all of these digital technologies, what is your advice, you know, for women leaders, the 75 people in the room, you know, moving forward? How do we make sure that we are still transformative in our education, especially with the challenges of digital transformation as well?
I think we have to be really well informed. That's why I really advise you to go to the UNESCO platforms, and all that has been done since COVID, but also during the Transform Education Summit, to be aware of what is going on, also to participate in numerous consultations. As you know, we are also member of the collective consultation of NGOs in Education 2030, so that everybody is aware that we can have open resources and we can also try to help each other in solidarity.
Thank you so much for that. If I may ask you, Dr. Marie-Claude, to turn off or to remove your presentation so we can see your beautiful face in full. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm going to read some of the questions here, or some of the comments here. Let's see here. I saw so many things. All right. Here. Or I can call as well, Claudia, is this, oh, here, Shenali Rajaratnam says, women are the silent leaders of the society as mothers, daughters, and sisters within the family that contributes to society at large. Absolutely, Shenali. Thank you so much for your comments. Most of the questions have been answered, but I ask all the panelists, when you are not speaking, there are a lot of questions in the chat now and also in the Q&A. So if you click on answer, because our co-moderator has tried to answer them there, but please also type your answer so that we can keep the conversation going. All right. So thank you so much, Marie-Claude. Please stay in the background, but don't leave us just yet. We hope to bring you back. Thank you.
I promise I won't leave.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So now we have a speaker all the way from Benin. She is, of course, a very active member as well of BPW, and she will talk to us about the experience of Benin in agricultural digitalization among rural women, actually not just Benin, but actually Africa. So this African perspective is, of course, very, very important too. So Raïssa, Nadia, Detien, Vodounnou, Nadia, fondly for all of us, the floor is yours. Thank you so much for joining us. You're muted, Nadia. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jenny. I'm very happy to be here this afternoon, and good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone around the world. I'm going to talk about the experience of agricultural digitalization among rural areas women in Africa. So, people in rural areas around the world, despite contributing immensely to the global economy, face greater obstacles to sustainable development and a decent quality of life. Rural women and girls in particular lack equal access to productive resources and assets, public services such as education and healthcare and infrastructure, as well as access to internet and digital devices and the skills needed to use them. Today, the term agricultural digitalization refers to the process of integrating advanced digital technologies like artificial intelligence, big data, and communication networks, all connected through the internet into the farm production system. Digital technologies have the potential to revolutionize agriculture by helping farmers work more precisely, efficiently, and sustainably. Many African countries today have developed digital solutions enabling African agriculture to meet the challenges of its transformation. In Kenya, for example, monitoring the greenhouses allows Kenyan smallholders farmers to irrigate their crops without being present on site and improve their quality of life. With their mobile phones, smallholders farmers manage the water supply with solar-powered collectors connected to drip system. In Ghana, for example, NGOs are using ICTs to provide climate and marketing advice to small-scale farmers. These small-scale farmers particularly are vulnerable to the adverse effects of climate. In Côte d'Ivoire, mapping of cocoa plantation enables to monitor their planting on their computer or mobile phones. Once the plantations are mapped, drones can provide images of the evolution of the farm over time and produce real-time weather reports. In Benin, which is my country, the actors of Benin agricultural system now have two platforms for information and exchanges. And these two spaces represent for the actors of the agricultural world an opportunity to make themselves known to benefit from a better visibility both inside and outside. Digitization makes it possible to monitor in real time the activities carried out by agricultural advisors, the agricultural input delivered to each agricultural cooperative, and the quantities of input consumed by per cooperative. An example of digitization concerns also the payment of rice producers in Benin. Rice sales are made in public, but producers are paid by mobile money services. This contributes to the emergence of an inclusive digital economy, which has the advantage of providing a solution that promotes discretion in the management of funds and the security of farmers when they collect cash in full view of everyone. Producers also create WhatsApp groups for the exchange of information, demonstration videos of agricultural techniques, presentation of new agricultural equipment, etc. Exchanges in these WhatsApp groups are mainly in the local language, which encourages greater participation by farmers, including women who generally have a low level of education. Targeting women more means adapting digitalization service to areas where women activities are predominant. Suppliers of digital technology should take into account elements relating to gender, that are access to resources, low purchasing power, to support the cost of internet connection, identification of agricultural work reserved for women, participation in this. Are more suitable for rural areas are the Wi-Fi, mobile wireless networks, and satellite-based. Digital technologies are often seen as an opportunity to enable sustainable future in agriculture in rural areas. However, the lack of robust technology infrastructure, the lack of trust and confidence in digital payment, shortage of affordable and reliable internet connectivity options, high costs of maintenance of technical gadgets and machines are the main challenges facing agricultural digitalization. So,
thank you. I'm so sorry, Nadia.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to cut you, but we still have 3 speakers. So I hope it's okay. I mean, that was an incredible presentation. We learned so much about the different countries, and it's really great to know that, you know, you are leveraging, you know, the knowledge and the expertise of farmers in Africa. We love the examples as well. I just want to take this time to ask you a quick question about also how we can balance, you know, this technology with the traditional knowledge that it is in Africa. So there are incredible farmers who have a lot of wisdom over the years. How do we make sure that they are not also forgotten, and then the knowledge that they have is also taken forward even with digital technology?
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Jenny, for your question. As you know, in Africa, the notion of community is very strong. Old and young people, they live together. In such interaction, old people transfer their knowledge to young people, and this makes the tradition goes on. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us. Please stay in the background. I hope I can still bring you back. But now from Benin, we are going to Romania with my colleague, Dr. Laura Smuleac, who will be talking to us about sustainable agriculture for gender equality. Laura, thank you so much for joining us today, and the room is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone, and good evening from Romania. Today, I will share with you my presentation. It's about sustainable agriculture and gender equality. Some words about me. Do you see the slides, my slides?
Yes, we do.
Okay, I'm Vice Dean of the Faculty of Agriculture at the University of Life Sciences King Mihai I from Timișoara. It's a public university located in western part of Romania. In the city Timișoara, this year is the European Capital of Culture. I have my background founded on agriculture and environment engineering. So come back to our topic, agriculture sustainability depends on gender equality. Addressing gender inequality is essential to achievement sustainability in agriculture. High levels of inequality make it harder to increase productivity and reduce poverty and hunger. Countries where incomes are highly unequal have, on average, lower levels of land productivity and are more prone to food insecurity. These inequities are slowing many countries' progress towards sustainable development goals to end hunger, achieve food security, and improve nutrition and promote sustainability agriculture by 2030. So, rural women building climate resilience. Women's involvement in agriculture is no longer a choice. We will not be able to feed the world in the next 30 years without more women in agriculture. According to FAO estimates, if women farmers had equal access to resources like men, they could produce 20–30% more food. It would lift 150 million people out of hunger. If we are looking to gender in agriculture, we can see that it's distributed like 45% in Latin America household food provided by women. And in Africa, it's 75%, and Asia, 65%. So the share of women working in agriculture depends by country income level. So in low income, the percent of women working in agriculture is 65%, but in high income, it's only 2%. So the agriculture remains the important employment sector for women in developing countries. Here we can see in this graphic the distribution of employment by gender in agriculture sector made by countries. So unfortunately, many women lack access to land, credit, education, and services. But women, it's a key piece of food security. If women had the same access to resources as a man, farm yields could increase 20–30% and reduce hunger 12–17% in developing countries. Regarding the sustainable agriculture and gender equality, we are speaking about sustainable development goals to zero hunger, promoting better health, SDG 3, sustainable management of water, SDG 6, responsible production and consumption pattern, SDG 12, climate change, SDG 13, and sustainable use of ecosystem, SDG 15. We are talking about sustainable urbanization, SDG 11, renewable energy, SDG 7, education, better education for women and men, SDG 4, and economic growth, SDG 8. So gender equality, SDG 5, is strongly linked to achieving SDG 2 on sustainable agriculture. The SDG framework refers to women roles as small-scale farmers, acknowledges traditional knowledge and maintaining the genetic diversity of seeds, plants, and animals, and supports equal ownership of and access to agricultural land. Providing equal access to productive resources for both men and women is expected to increase agricultural output. Delivering on SDG 5 hence stands as an essential milestone to realize SDG 2. We celebrate every year on 15 October, the International Day of Rural Women, and a chance to celebrate women and girls who play a key role in rural areas, enhancing agricultural development, building climate resilience, and facing malnutrition and food insecurity. So some conclusion about sustainable agriculture and women. Collecting evidence on women's sustainable agriculture methods at local level. Supporting such initiative by breaking legal and cultural barriers, limiting their activity, building gender-sensitive place-based approaches which allow for women's role in managing local communities to be acknowledged. Eliminating legal barriers to land ownership by women and their access to natural resources. Engaging women and indigenous communities in decision-making regarding farming policies and practices based on their role as custodians of natural resources and their representation in the agriculture sector. Their traditional knowledge may help identify issues and difficulties that the local population is confronted with and may also provide alternatives in providing solutions. Strengthening women's leadership in the agriculture sector, including both government and the private sector. Ensuring gender mainstream when providing finance, financial literacy, digital skills, and other incentives for scaling up sustainable agriculture production methods and market access. Governments should follow a gender-responsive approach when providing financial and other incentives for scaling up sustainable agriculture production methods and market access. This requires taking into consideration women's needs and care responsibilities, including the changes that the continuous increase in the proportion of agriculture production that is marketed may bring to women. This was some conclusion about my opinion about sustainable agriculture and also gender equality. And thank you all for your attention. And I take this opportunity to invite you all to visit Timișoara, Romania, as the European capital of culture. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Laura. In fact, I've been to Timișoara several times and also spoke to the university that Laura is, and I can tell you it's a wonderful place. Just wanted to ask you, Dr. Laura, about young people in agriculture. Are they still excited about agriculture? Do they want to become farmers, or is there now like a movement veering away from agriculture in Romania in general?
Romania, it's an agriculture country. And also we can see many changes in the farmers because even the women are the owners of the farmers. So because I'm in the Faculty of Agriculture, I can say that we have a higher request for education in our faculty. And also the farmers are searching for more information, for more research, for the new technologies, for precision agriculture. So they are very interesting. And the younger, they took from their parents the farmers, and they became better farmers than their parents.
That's wonderful. That's exactly what we want, that the next generation will become better versions of us, definitely, and we'll be able to be more equipped to address the challenges that we share in the world. So thank you so much, Dr. Laura, for joining us. If you could please take off your slide. Thank you so much.
Yes, of course.
Thank you. We go now to the youth. Very, very important in this conversation is, of course, young people and their ideas and their thoughts and their initiatives when it comes to rural women and also on digitalization. So I invite now really an incredible young woman. She has done so many things in her native Nepal. She has been awarded by many award-giving bodies for the work that she does. But I think what we can learn from her is really this passion, to make a difference in her homeland. And I will allow her to get the floor now because she will be sharing to us her work. So Sadikshya Aryal, please, an entrepreneur all the way from Nepal. Thank you so much for joining us. The room is yours.
Thank you so much. I'm absolutely delighted to be presenting in this panel. Hello everyone, I'm Sadikshya Aryal, young BPW representative from BPW Nepal, and here to discuss on how I work to unlock potential of rural women farmers through equitable access to digital literacy and digital economy as a young BPW. So we work with archetypes, and for Project Gaon Bata Sanjal, most of our time, the archetypes are rural women farmers. Thus, like Saili, a 24 years old smallholder farmer in Nepal who has a 4-year-old son Dilu and a 10-year-old daughter Tara. Her husband is working as an immigrant worker in other countries like Malaysia or many countries in Middle East. And Saili is not alone in this situation. And there are a lot of women who are now turned into farmers, traditionally a role of men. And they are handling their responsibilities not as a mother, as a daughter-in-law, and as someone who takes care of the field back home, while her husband is working as a migrant laborers. And just like Saili, there are 2.7 million smallholder women farmers in Nepal who face the lack of access to market, low income, lack of digital financial literacy, and lack of meaningful access to finance. While the women in cities, they face the different set of problems. They are unable to get the quality food for the money they spend. Gaon Bata Sanjal is an innovative agri-tech initiative in Nepal that uses a digital platform to provide access to market, access to finance, connectivity, logistics, and tracking along with the digital literacy. And this digital literacy is given to those farmers through a network of young girls, young skilled girls, which is called Girls for Rurals. And as of now, we have more than 1,060 plus young skilled girls in rural areas who have already trained 1,700 and plus female farmers back in rural Nepal, different villages. And we have 2,000 and plus women as conscious consumers. Project Gaon Bata Sanjal utilizes intergenerational transfer of knowledge to enable the women farmers in order to provide them access to equity. And as we go and work to the rural community and interact with them, and what we have learned from the experience of doing Gaon Bata Sanjal project is that we have identified there are different systemic barriers that is hindering in involving rural women in digital economy. And and 3 specific barriers are marital status, financial independence. And I want to give this example that if for example, I am someone who is not yet married and I want to have access to finance, but there is this systemic barrier which does not allow myself to become the member of a cooperative. It's because we have to face this concept of treating the women's loan applications as the vulnerable or default loans, and their financial ability to gain or earn for themselves is determined by their own marital status, whether she is single or she is married to someone rich, or at the social status of that very person whom she get married to. So there are systemic barriers involving rural women in digital economy, and I feel that it needs a greater push from all the stakeholders, including government, including the civil society organizations, and the women as household members. We have partnered with multiple organizations that have amplified our works in rural communities. And Project Gaon Bata Sanjal has a specific SDG metric focus on gender equality, SDG 5. It also works for SDG 2, 17, and 12. And we work with different set of women, both in rural areas and the and the consumers in the cities against the women. And we have a lot of says from their side. And many a times I get to hear that some women, they realize it's like digitization is a need of this time, but then it might take pace for myself to learn and actually do it by myself and not my granddaughter. And that I get to listen that the other versions from the consumers that, okay, this is saving my time and I'm actually being able to help someone get the access to equity based on their purchase. Like we talked about power of purchase before from the and that sort of power of purchase can actually uplift the lives of women farmers, and that has been made possible by Gaon Bata Sanjal project. And we have the members of my club, BPW Patan, as conscious consumers registered in the Gaon Bata platform itself. And it's all about not just realizing the notion that women can do for women, it's about a call to action, a lot for the Gaon Bata Sanjal project. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing to us Gaon Bata Sanjal, Girls for Rurals at Sadikshya. It's really wonderful to listen to your work in Nepal and how you are also bringing together different parts of women of different ages, this intergenerational project that you have. And, coming from a young woman, I'm sure it's inspiring also for the other young women here in the room. So is there any advice that you can give them, if they want to start something similar to what you're doing, if you want to make a difference in the community, what is your advice?
I first of all would like to applaud for their intention of working for the humanity, women in rural community, and that's absolutely adorable. And it should be enabled by providing them with conducive environment. That environment can come from the her support system, her family, the country she lives in, and the business organization, the organization that supports, and that identifies that yes, young women need support in terms of finance and resources and knowledge and everything, because nobody is equipped with all of the perfect qualities. And when the intention aligns with the solution that actually addresses the need of the rural community and that need population in the very country, I feel that's something the very women should go and work towards it. And yes, it's the deal at the end.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your advice. I let you go now, but please stay in the background. I wanted to bring you back a little bit later. But now I want to introduce to you another speaker of ours who cannot be here with us live because, as you know, some weeks ago, we had there was a big tragedy in Turkey and in Syria, and she is one of those at the front lines, really working with rescuers, and her also doing rescuing herself. But she gave us a video, and of course she is also a BPW member. Her name is Derya Uzun. She is from Turkey, and she has this message for all of us.
Hello everyone, I am Derya Uzun from Turkey. At today's webinar, I was looking forward to sharing with you my experience as a youth born and raised in rural area. However, on the night of February 6th, I woke up with a terrible shaking since I am located in a geography close to the area I have experienced closely. That's why I can't be with you today. I'm very sorry that I can't participate because I took an active part in the relief, active search, and rescue efforts. Yet, one thing that obsessed me even more is the experience of the people in the region. 10 cities in Turkey were severely damaged by the earthquake. 13.5 million people were directly affected. Thousands of lives and their stories that we didn't know disappeared. The debris from the earthquake alone is equivalent to 1 year's waste of all of Turkey. There is so much to be done, from cleaning the waste and the chemicals in the soil to providing the people living in that region with the living conditions that will enable them to cling to life and providing employment again. It has been a month since the earthquake, but the consequences of this disaster are multiplying. In this process, we still need even the smallest help from everyone. We look forward to your support. As in all cases, people living in rural areas and villages were affected and continue to be affected much more by this unexpected disaster. It was impossible for me to go as a person that day, but thanks to digitalization, I was able to help the people there. Not only me, but many people have been able to help this way. The people who were under the debris or their relatives shared their status on the location on social media like WhatsApp, Instagram, Twitter. People like and reshared them so that outside people could see them. I was one of those people. I volunteered as a translator for Chinese rescue team. I have never been to China. I also learned Chinese online. And I did all this just on the phone to map the location, translate it, learn the current situation, and direct the soldiers and the rescuers to the wrecked area. The importance of this was too great to be denied. It took much more difficult process to get aid to villages with the bad internet or the less digital. This is why rural areas need to be more digitized today. We have seen the necessity of this, not only in this earthquake, but also in the COVID process of the whole world. I would like to thank all of you for your support and prayers and being with the victims during this earthquake. I wish you all the great webinar, and I hope that the outputs from this webinar will be promising for people living in rural areas all over the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Derya, for the work that you're doing. Such an inspiration to all of us. And of course, you know, what happened in Turkey and Syria, it's such a strong message also for all of us that we really have to, it takes a village, it takes, you know, to build and rebuild and become stronger once again. So we really have to help each other out. So now I think we have some minutes for questions. So let me bring back our speakers so we can have a little conversation. So I can bring back Nadia, and here is Sadikshya, and of course Laura is here, and Dr. Meena is also here. We are missing Marie-Claude, but I hope that she joins us in a bit. So you are all empowered women, but of course, you know, there are challenges that are in the world today, and you come from different backgrounds, different countries, definitely. What do you think is the tie that binds women together? How can we work together even if we are in different parts of the world? How can we make sure that we also align, you know, when it comes to the work that we're doing? Sometimes, and I get this from a lot of people, we are working in silos. We are fragmented, even if we have the same ambition, which is to really for gender equality and women's empowerment. So I wanted to hear from you, and I can start with you, Dr. Meena. What do you think? How do we bring each other together? How do we break the silos?
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Jenny. I'm very happy for this question. We must have to gather the women who are left behind. Nobody have to left behind, so that it's lots of things are there in which we can put them together, like education, training, skills, confidence. Main thing is confidence. How can you get confidence? Without money, we can't get the confidence. So that for the confidence, we need some earning source. We need some money. So my area is microfinance, and microfinance is helping the poor women to get the money to establish their small business and can earn something to get the confidence and uplift their lifestyle better than yesterday. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Meena, for that answer. Yes, we do need a lot of confidence, and we have to boost each other up, because sometimes women, we tend to be very hard on ourselves, so I think it's also a lesson for us to be kinder to ourselves, and then to remind each other to be kind to ourselves and to lift each other up, to be each other's cheerleader. I want to get some questions, and I love this question, and this invitation to collaborate from Power of Women. So perhaps, Sadikshya, since you are the representative of the youth here, there's a question: how can we utilize storytelling through music, media, and entertainment to creatively educate? Power of Women's mission is to do this and would love to collaborate.
Thank you for that query. It's yes, of course, those forms of providing information to the other. A lot of times, what I felt while working with Gawata Sanjal is the visuals and forms of entertainment, like you mentioned before, are actually most of the time works are more catchy to and it helps to relay the information more clearly and effectively, because a lot of time there are language barriers. We should not have this consumption, like this assumption that all of the rural women are in the same settings, and all the rural setting, and of course the rural settings are different and they differ by community and community. They have their own languages and they have their own understandings in the first place. So yes, we can definitely use those forms of relaying information to those people to get them to deliver what are the opportunities that still are there despite their geographical regions, despite them not living in cities. And absolutely, we can always explore on. I would love to collaborate and explore more ways on how we can do this together.
And it's always incredible when that happens. So there you go. There's an invitation to collaborate. It's being answered very warmly. So we hope that more women and more organizations represented in this room will also collaborate. There's a lot of best practices here, and I'm sure you also have your own best practice. So getting together, amplifying the work that we do is something that we really have to work on so much more. There's a question here for Dr. Laura. How do you generate the interest in agriculture among the youth in your country? And of course, there's a comment, great presentation.
Yes, I saw the question. I already answered. As I said before, the children, the young people want to be better than their parents. Major of them have their own farm, and they want to do precision agriculture, performant agriculture. So they can invest, but to invest in such a kind of agriculture, you have to, you need to have some knowledge about this and how to implement this. And I want to say that the most important things, even for our farmers, even for all women from everywhere, is the education. This is the base of everything, because if you have to be a good farmer, if you have to be a woman who has confidence in herself, you have to have education. If you have education, you can have a very good job, or you can be a very good manager. In Romania, many women are the manager of the farms. So in Romania, you have this freedom to be a leader, even if you are a woman, but you have to invest in your own education.
Thank you so much. And since you mentioned about education, Dr. Laura, I will connect this and pass the virtual microphone to Dr. Marie-Claude. You know, I would like to talk to you about, we have these things called Chat GPT, all these artificial intelligence. What are your thoughts about this? How can we leverage this in the work that we're doing?
Well, this is quite a question, in fact, because I'm not sure that ChatGPT is a friend with the teachers, because very often the students, they just copy, and so they don't work by themselves, and that is the problem. So I think because artificial intelligence is here, and digital literacy also must be implemented, we have to try and find a way so that children keep being educated, having an education throughout their lives from the very beginning, from the childhood, and education preschool years. This is very important, and throughout life. And we have really to take care of this also formal or non-formal education, but still education has to be there. And also, I wanted to say that the intergenerational dialogue is very important, because families need also to be connected, need also to know. That's why throughout life, education is a right. It's very important.
Yes, you're never too young or too old to learn something new, to be educated, so that's a really, really, really wonderful. And there's a lot of things, of course, happening in the world, apart from artificial intelligence. Robots are now even passing university. So, but with that also comes opportunity. So it's also a question on mindset. So we have to adapt, we have to be agile, and we have to maximize the technology that we have. Thank you so much, Dr. Marie-Claude. And now with Nadia, I mean, Africa is such a diverse, continent. There's a lot of things happening in Africa. There's, of course, with the challenges, also with a lot of opportunities. What do you think what are your thoughts with digital transformation, and especially empowering rural women in Africa moving forward?
Thank you very much, Dr. Jenny, for this question. I think that digital transformation will do a great lot of things for Africa, especially for rural women. You know that the majority of rural women are illiterate, but even though they are really intelligent, they are illiterate, but they are intelligent. So if we can help them by bringing or teaching them how to use these devices, I think they will improve upon their quality of life. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Nadia, for that powerful inspiration. We have to do more in this field. So that was an incredible, incredible presentations from all of you. I wish we could talk a little bit more, but maybe to summarize what we've talked about and maybe to challenge us moving forward, I now would like to invite the Vice President for the UN of the International Federation of Business and Professional Women. She's actually the reason why we are all gathered here today. Chularat Israngkool na Ayutthaya, or lovingly we call Toyting. The room is yours, and thank you so much for bringing us all together.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jenny. You are an excellent moderator, and we are very proud to have you with us today. Sadikshya, everyone, for all over the world. So first and foremost, I would like to express my appreciation to all the speakers and panelists to their valuable contribution to our program today on women and girls and the rural women in rural area and their experiences with technology that improve their life. And my deepest gratitude to all of audience today and our co-sponsor, Pasiva. If we don't have you today with us, we would not have successful of event today. I looking forward to see you again in our next session in the near future. And I thank you from my heart to everyone. And I hope this event, this parallel event, can useful to everyone in everywhere that you are sitting now and can implement for our know-how that we share to you today. Thank you for your attendance to us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, VP Toyting, for that. And I keep you here on the screen because you are really the person who brought us all together. But we also would like to thank, of course, all our sisters at the International Federation of Business and Professional Women for all of the support. Of course, our partner Pan Pacific and Southeast Asia Women's Association, also the support of Marie Curie alumni, every one of you. This is just the beginning. We just started to talk about these things, and this will continue to be a very important issue, in the years to come. And so I hope that this is a challenge to all of us to keep together, to connect with each other, make sure that we amplify our voices, we validate the experiences, and become each other's cheerleaders. I remember what my mother said, and I will repeat it to all of you. When you educate a man, you educate an individual. When you educate a woman, you educate a generation. So that there's a lot of responsibility on our shoulders, but there's also a lot of opportunity for us to make a difference. So all the best to all of you. Thank you so much. And a special shout out to Ursula from BPW, from President's Office, also for doing the tech. And of course, our co-moderator, Claudia, for making sure that we are perfect when it comes to time. Thank you so much to everybody. Have a great day wherever you are in the world. Take care. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye. Please take good care of yourself. Bye-bye.